Detective Sarah Blake was known for her seriousness. Every day, she wore her badge with pride, solving crimes while maintaining a tough exterior. Her colleagues admired her for her dedication, but they also saw her as unapproachable. One evening, Sarah decided to take a break from her routine and visited a local comedy club. She had never been a fan of comedy, but something urged her to step out. As Torres took the stage, he lit up the room with his energetic presence. His jokes flowed effortlessly, making the audience roar with laughter. Sarah, sitting in the corner, remained stone-faced. She felt out of place, like a statue among a crowd of happy faces. After the show, Torres noticed Sarah's serious expression and felt drawn to her. Intrigued by the detective's stoic demeanor, he approached her with a playful smile. "Hey there, you look like you could use a good laugh," Torres said. Sarah raised an eyebrow and replied, "Laughter isn't my specialty." That moment set the tone for an unusual friendship. While Sarah was accustomed to solving cases, Torres was adept at breaking the ice. Their initial meeting was brief, but it planted a seed of curiosity in both. Little did they know, this encounter would change their lives in ways they couldn't imagine. In the following weeks, Torres found himself thinking about Sarah. There was something fascinating about the detective's strength and quiet intensity. He couldn't shake the desire to break through her tough exterior. Each time Torres performed, he made a point to seek out Sarah afterward. At first, Sarah remained reserved, unsure of how to let someone into her life. Torres, with his infectious laughter and warm spirit, was persistent. They began to share small conversations. Sarah would comment on Torres's jokes, and he would ask about her cases. Slowly, Sarah felt herself loosening up, and her defenses started to crumble. One night, during a hilarious routine about the quirks of dating, Torres noticed a flicker of amusement in Sarah's eyes. It was a small victory for him. "You see, you do have a sense of humor," he exclaimed. For the first time, Sarah felt a tingle of happiness she hadn't experienced in years. As their friendship grew, they began spending more time together outside the club. Torres invited Sarah to dinner, where they shared stories and laughter. Sarah learned to appreciate the lighter side of life, while Torres found himself drawn to the detective's fierce dedication. Their connection blossomed, creating a foundation for something deeper. As summer rolled in, Sarah and Torres's friendship deepened, but it also faced new challenges. They started to enjoy each other's company more, often spending weekends together. However, Sarah felt the weight of her job pressing down on her. The demands of being a detective often left her emotionally drained, and she struggled to balance her professional life with her growing feelings for Torres. One evening, they sat on Torres's rooftop, watching the sunset over the city. The air was warm, and they were sharing stories from their childhood. Torres's laughter filled the air, and for a moment, Sarah felt at peace. Yet, beneath the surface, Sarah wrestled with her emotions. She was falling for him, but could she really allow herself to open up? Just as Sarah was about to confess her feelings, her phone buzzed with a new message. It was about a string of art thefts that had been plaguing the city. The seriousness of her job hit her hard, pulling her back into reality. Torres noticed the change in Sarah's expression. "What's wrong?" he asked gently. Sarah hesitated, feeling the tension build. "It's just work," she replied, not wanting to burden him. Yet, deep down, she knew that keeping secrets could put a strain on their relationship. Days turned into weeks, and the case of the art thefts grew more complicated. Sarah's focus on her work intensified, leading her to withdraw from Torres. Each time they met, the playful banter was tinged with an undercurrent of worry. Torres felt the distance and tried to break through, but Sarah remained guarded. One fateful night, Sarah followed a lead into a shadowy alley, hoping to catch a suspect off guard. Her heart raced as she approached, but suddenly, things escalated. A confrontation erupted, and Sarah found herself overwhelmed. Just when she thought she was in over her head, Torres appeared out of nowhere. Seeing Sarah in danger ignited a fierce protectiveness within Torres. "Get away from her!" he shouted, surprising both Sarah and the suspect. With his unexpected courage, They managed to escape the confrontation, but not without a close call. Shaken, they ended up at Torres's apartment, breathless and scared. "Are you okay?" Torres asked, concern written across his face. Sarah nodded but felt a wave of emotion crash over her. The moment had made her realize how much he meant to her. "You shouldn't have come," Sarah said, her voice trembling. "I don't want you in danger." Torres, still reeling from the events, replied firmly, "I care about you, Sarah. I won't let you face this alone." That night changed everything. Sitting on Torres's couch, Sarah felt her walls begin to crumble. They both knew they had crossed a line, but it was impossible to ignore the bond they had forged. Torres looked at Sarah, his heart racing. "You're always so serious. But I see you, and I know there's more to you than that," he said softly. The words hung in the air, filled with unspoken feelings. Sarah took a deep breath, her heart pounding. "I've been trying to keep you safe," she admitted. "My world is dangerous, and I don't want you involved." But Torres's determination only grew. "But I want to be with you, Sarah. I want to help you, not just in your job, but in your life." Tension crackled between them, and Sarah's resolve wavered. "I don't know if I can mix my life with yours," she said, feeling vulnerable. Torres moved closer, his voice steady. "What if we can face it together? You don't have to do this alone." In that moment, Sarah realized how much Torres's words resonated with her. She felt a pull, an urge to let go of her fears. "I care about you, too," Sarah whispered, her eyes locking onto his. The honesty in the air was palpable. With their feelings finally out in the open, Sarah and Torres began to explore the possibility of a relationship. They spent more time together, both in the office and outside of it. Sarah found comfort in Torres's presence, while he cherished the glimpses of warmth behind her tough exterior. As they faced challenges, Torres often lightened the mood with his humor. One evening, as they prepared dinner together, he playfully dropped a handful of flour on Sarah's head. "Now you look like a real detective," he joked. Sarah couldn't help but laugh, the sound echoing through the kitchen. Yet, the shadows of the case loomed over them. As Sarah delved deeper into the art thefts, she realized they were connected to a larger criminal network. The stakes were rising, and she struggled to keep Torres from getting involved. "You should stay away from this," Sarah warned one night, her voice filled with concern. Torres, however, wasn't one to back down easily. "I can handle myself, Sarah. You need someone who can stand by you, not someone who runs away," he replied, his determination shining through. Their bond was stronger than ever, but Sarah still grappled with fear. Could she really let Torres into her world? As they faced the dangers ahead, both knew that love would be their greatest strength, but it would also challenge everything they thought they knew about themselves. The investigation escalated when Sarah uncovered a key piece of evidence that linked the art thefts to a notorious crime syndicate. This information put them both in grave danger. As Sarah prepared to confront the criminals, she realized that Torres's involvement could put him at risk. "Mia, this is getting serious. You need to stay out of this," Sarah insisted, her voice filled with urgency. But Torres, with his unwavering spirit, refused to back down. "I won't let you do this alone. You mean too much to me," he said, his eyes determined. In the days leading up to the confrontation, their relationship deepened. They shared their fears and hopes, both feeling the weight of what lay ahead. On the day of the operation, they found themselves in a dimly lit warehouse where the criminal activity was happening. Sarah felt the adrenaline pumping through her veins. As they moved through the shadows, their hearts raced. Suddenly, they were spotted by the criminals, and chaos erupted. Sarah instinctively grabbed Torres, pulling him close as they ducked behind crates. "Stay down," she shouted, her protective instincts kicking in. With every decision they made, Sarah and Torres relied on each other. In that moment of danger, Sarah realized how much he had become a part of her life. They fought together, their connection stronger than ever, even in the face of fear. After a tense confrontation with the criminals, they emerged victorious but shaken. The experience had changed them both. As the sun rose over the city, casting golden rays through the skyline, they stood together, breathless and relieved. Torres turned to Sarah, his smile brightening the moment. "You know, you really did look cool back there," he teased, trying to lighten the mood. Sarah chuckled, her heart full. "I couldn't have done it without you." In the days that followed, their relationship blossomed. They navigated the challenges of both their worlds, drawing strength from each other. Sarah learned to embrace laughter, while Torres found a deeper sense of purpose in supporting her work. Together, they discovered that love could thrive even in the darkest places. As they continued to face life's ups and downs, they knew they had each other to rely on, proving that sometimes, laughter really is the best medicine.